this benchmark. How is the other side doing? Because today also marks 100 days since the Republican Party has been completely out of power in Washington. How are they coping? How are they building back? Well, here's the lead in the front page A1 story in the Washington Post tonight. Quote, more than 5 months after the 2020 presidential election and after numerous failed attempts to overturn the results, former President Donald Trump has seized on a new avenue to try to call the election outcome into question, a hand recount of more than 2 million ballots cast in Arizona's largest county. Several advisors said the former president has become fixated on the unorthodox process underway in Phoenix, where the Republican-led state Senate took ballots and voting equipment from Maricopa County and turned them over to a private contractor called Cyber Ninjas, a contractor whose chief executive has echoed Trump's baseless claims that the election was fraudulent. Ensconced at his private club in Florida, the former president asks staffers and aides for updates about the process multiple times a day, advisors said. He has expressed particular interest in the use of UV lights to scrutinize the ballots, a method that has bewildered election experts. Quote, he talks about it constantly, said one person who recently visited Mar-a-Lago and listened to Trump discuss the recount for about 45 minutes. 100 days. This is how that part of our politics is coping. The former president, twice impeached, ousted after one term, now under scrutiny in multiple criminal investigations, whose first personal lawyer already went to prison for a felony that the Justice Department said the president was implicated in, and whose second personal lawyer had his home and office raided by the Justice Department yesterday. That former president, who is still the unchallenged leader of the Republican Party, why would you need a fresh one? He is reportedly, according to people meeting with him, obsessing about UV lights being shined on ballots in Arizona, which I guess if they're shined just the right way will somehow reveal that actually he's still president. Tonight, the news here is that Arizona's Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs, she was our guest here earlier this week, expressing grave concern about what is being done to the ballots and the election results in Arizona. The big news tonight is that her office has just been granted permission by the court to send in real elections observers, actual elections experts, to figure out what they are doing in that arena in Phoenix, to go and watch what they are doing. This is the first time that any actual expert observers have been allowed in. Now, as I mentioned, there has been a request to the Civil Rights Division, the Voting Rights Unit at the Justice Department, that the Federal Justice Department should also send in experts. There's no word on whether that will happen. But with real experts finally being allowed in who can tell the public about what's going on, with them unable to explain all these QAnon fantasy tactics and inventions that they're using to apply to the ballots, it looks like this thing might finally be getting corralled. But this is the animating concern in Trump politics right now. This is the animating concern for the former president and for the Trump wing of Republican politics right now. They want to do this in Arizona. Former advisor to President Trump said last week that they plan to do this in Georgia. The Cyber Ninjas QAnon group that has been running this audit in Arizona has already said that they are going to be involved in another process to challenge what happened in Michigan. Everywhere that Republicans are in control of the state legislature or of statewide elective office, they are going to try to do what they are doing in Arizona. To have, in some cases, like really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, conspiracy theorists, the whole Stop the Steal QAnon people come in and say, actually, we've been given control of the election results now, and we'll tell you how it is that Donald Trump actually won all these other states. They are doing this right now in Arizona. And the fight is on to try to stop them from doing whatever it is irreparably to the real ballots from the election. But this is the most important thing in the Trump wing of the Republican Party. While Joe Biden hits his 100-day stride, while we top well over 200 vaccine shots delivered in 100 days, with the COVID relief bill passed, with the infrastructure bill on its way, with voting rights reform, with policing reform, with the American Families Plan on its way, we are supposed to be a country that has two major parties competing with competing governing visions for the nation. With what the Biden administration and the Democrats are doing here at 100 days, do not sleep on what is happening on the Republican side right now, because one of these two parties is not like the other. As absurd as it is the center of what they are trying to do in American politics right now. Mark my words. Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.